What's up guys, Nate Petrosky from Narrowway Homestead. Just going to give you guys some updates. We got some new animals here on the homestead, as well as a cool robot lawnmower I'm testing out. I'm asking a ton out of this poor robot lawnmower. This is quite the slope. I'm actually holding the phone pretty close to level here, and this whole thing's on a real slant along with that very steep bank over there, which I asked it to cut some of it. I'll keep you guys updated. Got 3 new rabbits on the homestead. These are Jen's rabbits. She's wanted to get some rabbits. She's got some really cool hutches for them and everything. What I'm actually most excited about is Az. Az has just taken to guarding these things like a livestock guardian dog, I guess. The rabbits were placed here underneath the solar in part because it's a cool area. I also wanted Az to be able to guard them, and since he normally hangs out around the high point up here, I figured this would be a great spot. He'll be close to him. Well, it turns out he wants to be right next to him, and he's actually dug himself a dog-shaped hole right there and lays just like that and gets as close to him as possible. It's super cool. It's really neat to see him he just instantly bonded with him too. Like I wasn't expecting it to be instantaneous, or didn't even realize that that was going to be a thing because they're so much smaller than him. You know, they're basically just little rodents. But it's really, really cool. Anyway, sometime maybe I'll take Jen around here and she can talk about her bunnies, but that's just a quick update on that. Then the next thing is ducks. Muscovy ducks. I mean, you guys already know I have Muscovy ducks, but I've got some other Muscovy ducks, and I'm actually going to work my way in here and show you guys. These guys are being cooped up for a couple days just to make sure that they know where home is and stick around. Get zoomed in here for you guys. These are also Muscovy ducks. They don't look anything like my other ducks, but I believe they have a lot more wild Muscovy in them than the ones I currently have, which are pretty much totally domesticated. Truthfully, I don't completely understand all the nuances of that, but I wanted genetic diversity in my flock, and Jen reached out to or maybe the other creators reached out to Jen, I'm not sure. But there's a TikToker, 2 guys and some land, and they ended up having more ducks than they needed. So yeah, I think Jen actually reached out to them and said, hey, we'd take some. So we got them, and I didn't realize they were going to be so different from the ones I have, and I've wanted to get some of the darker ones with the more wild genes, and I believe that's exactly what has happened, so I'm really excited about it. That brings the total ducks on the homestead to 26. I did have 21, but one of them wandered off. I actually had trouble for just a few days, maybe half a week, with a couple ducks just going real far, and ended up doing the same thing I'm doing with these guys, cooped them in here, and let them just get used to this area, remember where food is. I'm not sure why they started wandering, because I've done a lot of stuff with ducks for years, and them just randomly wandering when they're old and mature adults just wasn't a thing I've dealt with before. Ended up dealing with it. One of them ended up wandering, and she would just wander anywhere. The 2 that were wandering over to my neighbors, to the neighbor's pond, they were very predictable in where they went. This one just wandered wherever, and I'm pretty sure she got lost and picked off. Or maybe she wasn't lost, but she was probably picked off, because once you get off this field out of the range of Az's protection, there's really not much that is going to help a duck. It's kind of like a sitting duck. My apologies to the members of this channel, but I've got behind on my long format YouTube videos, and typically what I do is release a video early for the members and go look at all their comments and read them, possibly like them. Well, I always like them unless they're like nasty, but my members don't leave nasty comments as of yet. So, but I just, it's a way for me to catch you guys in the mix of all the other comments. But basically this video is just going to go public as soon as I upload it, because I haven't uploaded it in a couple days. One other thing, I am doing a meet and greet this week. It is in Ohio, and I'm going to put that information at the end of this video. So if you missed it, it's there. Just remember to watch all the way to the end, or skip to the end for all the details if you want to meet me. I'm also planning a meet and greet I'm also planning a meet and greet in West Virginia in July, so stay tuned for the info on that. That's coming up. Other than that, I've done some minor projects. Converted a chest freezer into a refrigerator. because it's more efficient. It's got more insulation for one, and I use the temperature controller to be able to turn it into a fridge versus a freezer. There'll be a short on that eventually. Will has been here. Will survives. Basically, he's just been working on a bunch of miscellaneous tasks that I've had around here. One in particular being this firewood. It all got unstacked, cut in half, and restacked because the new wood stove I have didn't support the size firewood that I had. So it basically needed to be all cut again, which is super annoying, but he totally tackled it. I told him he didn't have to if he didn't want to, but he knocked it out, and I did save about a cord for me to do myself sometimes. So I kind of like cutting firewood, just, you know, it gets old after a while. Will did a bunch of projects for me. I'm getting ready to close on that other property, that other homestead. I'll have to do another detailed video on all the info and what's happening with that, but it looks like we're going to go ahead and proceed with that. So Will is getting ready to transition over there, and there's a bunch of stuff for him to do, and I have been doing just a whole bunch of animal care, more animal training, with these rabbits, and as being as protective as he is, plus having 2 new dogs around, there's just been a lot more dog training to have take place. It's all been going real well. It just takes some time, and it's absolutely worth doing, and it's not a bad thing to have the circumstances change like that, so I can observe Az's behaviors, make corrections, adjustments. It's all been a really good thing. It's been a little bit time consuming, but it's not a bad thing at all. Overall, it's a good thing, because the more situations a dog is introduced to, the more different they'll behave. And then you can observe and correct or reward and praise, just depending on what the behavior is. But I'm loving seeing him bond to the rabbits like that. That's really cool. Also, basically in the middle of the night last night, Will's dogs were over here in this field, and Will and his cameraman were not here, and his dogs were just barking their heads off. I don't know if it was deer or what it was. Az was out here, kind of woofed a couple times, went and looked around, obviously decided there was nothing that was a problem or worth barking at, so he just chilled for a bit, and Will's dogs were just barking and barking and barking. You know, it's an unfamiliar area to them. They're young. They don't know what they should or should not bark at. What was unexpected to me and really cool was I'm there watching the Twitch stream, and it was pointed at rabbits at the time, so I didn't see what happened, but all of a sudden I heard yelping, and all barking stopped. That's one of those things that I'm gonna come out of the house for and be like, what is going on? So I came out here, and his dogs were just chilling next to the trailer. Az was just kind of like wandering about near the rabbits, and I think what happened is Az corrected them for barking. Az knew that there was nothing to bark at, and kind of got a grouchy old man moment, and just went over to whichever one was barking the most, I guess, and said, knock it off. And they were dead quiet for about 15 minutes afterwards. It was kind of cool. Most people, and dogs can correct other dogs. Dogs can train other dogs better than a person can train dogs. The body language is perfect. The mannerisms are awesome. They just communicate with each other better than any human can communicate to them. So that was just kind of cool. They did eventually pick up and do some more barking again, but it wasn't anything like it was. It was just kind of neat. It's part of the whole plan of why I have one dog, and I want to get him trained and acclimated to exactly how he's supposed to behave here on the homestead. That way, when I get another dog, he can help tremendously train that one. It's probably going to take 4 times the effort to train Az as it will to train the next puppy that comes if I have Az's help to train it. So that's going to be really cool. Getting younger new animals is just, if you want them to behave for a long period of time and understand exactly how they should behave, it takes a ton of effort. But if you have another animal that can teach them the ropes, like I have Dagger with these new kittens, I am doing kitten training. It has been far less time intensive to train them having Dagger around. He's bringing them stuff out of the woods, chipmunks and even a rabbit one time. He's trying to teach him how to hunt. Like, he has just taken him under his wing, and I didn't expect it to be so, yeah, so in my face. Like, he is just like very obviously having some kind of instincts kick in where he is trying to take care of these kittens. And it's really cool to see. I get really excited when I have all these different varieties of animals and they all figure out how to interact with each other. And I love when I just have to provide minimal input and they kind of figure it out themselves. So just minimal input and guidance is my favorite way to do it. All right, guys, that's pretty much what's happening. I am streaming over on Twitch significantly right now, showing off just whatever's happening on the homestead, whether we pointed at rabbits or ducks or those juvenile ducklings in the coop or a sunset or there's all kinds of stuff. Nate Petrosky over there, it's just kind of a stream that I try to keep up 24/7 with the exception of when I go live right here on YouTube on Sunday nights at 9 Eastern time. So I come and specifically hang out with you guys once a week whenever possible. I usually do pretty good at actually making it happen. Because some people love watching that type of thing for, like, you know, the Twitch lives for like falling asleep or nature sounds or just a pop in, just white noise. But I keep my YouTube lives different, very interactive, and try to read the chat and all that good stuff. So anyway, hopefully some of you guys can make the Ohio meet and greet. I'm going to throw that clip of all the details of where and when right after this. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the subscribe. If you didn't, then don't hit the subscribe. Have a great one. I do meet and greets every year. I travel to a public location and we hang out for a few hours. And this year it's going to be in Ohio. There's going to be another one coming in West Virginia in July. But Friday, June 28th from 3 to 6 at Lehman's in Ohio. Lehman's is the company I got that wood cook stove from. They have all kinds of stuff for simple living, off-grid, homesteading, all that kind of stuff. Pardon me or pardon Minion, he's got birds to deal with in the sky. It's an open invitation to come hang out with us and check out Lehman's because from what I understand, it's a super cool store. I haven't been there in person, so this is gonna be my first time, so I'm gonna be like looking at everything. I wanna thank them for hosting me and I'll see you guys on the 28th.